I like to see a deck with style.
Where like those flashy moves, playing cards that are annoying as hell to summon, which is also one of the things I like doing. I make multiple decks, and they do a bunch of things that are difficult to do. They can do it, but they can play a different way as well. So,
Oh yeah, I mean like the way you build the deck, like it makes everything. Like if you're good at building decks, you'd be great. Obviously, there's people that build decks, just awful. Um, I mean, we can't really shun them for it, but they can be stubborn.
yeah, and that's one thing I struggled to when I was, when I would put decks together way back when. There's just a card that, like, oh man, I would be thinking, I really want to use this because it's, part of the theme. But eventually, you gotta get over it. If you want your deck to work and you want to actually,
I think everyone was the same way. Like all my decks used to be like 60 card decks, and that's because I had cards in there that I wanted to run because I liked them. I like the effect they did, but they were, like I said earlier, they're just really gimmicky. They're cool, like they were cool, but they weren't progressing my deck, to get me that win. But I mean, that all comes down to like how you build the deck, and I guess where you learn to build the deck from. Because like someone can teach you how to deck build, and they can just teach you like just so bad. Your opinion, of course, is always your own. You can build a deck however the hell you want. Doesn't matter.
If you're not willing to take that extra step and make sacrifices, saying, okay, this card is just not working, I should just take it out. You can always carry it with you if you have sentimental value. Though it has sentimental value, you can carry it with you in your deck box and just always have it by your side if you really feel strongly about it. Which some of my decks have that. Like I just want this card with me or with the deck. It's not in the deck, but at least I'll still have it on me.
That's like super weird.
Yes, it is.
Net decking is also a thing. I guess you could do that. There's nothing wrong with net decking. I just kind of like to see decks with more personality.
Yeah, it's too bad. Like the competitive players, they keep an eye on the tournaments that, the big tournaments, and they see what wins, and they go and copy it and make slight changes to it just to say that they.
Well, I mean that's how the meta works.
Yeah, I mean if you want to, if your deal is only winning, and if you don't care too much about the fun of the game, or I guess his point of view, where do you find the fun is where
it's
matters
definitely where you find the fun. Like if you find the fun in just winning, that's great. That's all you. But
and we hate you.
Yeah, we hate you.
Okay.
I don't know. I personally find fun. I mean, winning is great. Winning is always great.
Yeah.
But having that on your edge game, whether you win or lose, is incredible. Like just those games is what makes Yu-Gi-Oh.
Like I don't like going into the game knowing I'm gonna win. I like wondering, where's this game gonna go? Just both players using up all the cards, and I just really like when we're both top decking. We have no cards on field, no hand, and we're struggling to get back on our feet. Those are the kind of games that I really are enjoyable.
I remember this time. I think it was up in Lubbock. It was a tournament, just a little game shop tournament, and I was playing Crystal Beasts.
Against or with?
I was playing with Crystal Beasts against Heretics. You remember Heretics?
Oh, Heretics.
You tribute them. They do stuff. You could tribute from your hand or whatever. A bunch of weird shit. They bring out like rank 5s and rank 8s, right? And I think at that time that was like one of the top decks, not the best deck, obviously. I think Dragon Rulers was up and coming at that time, but that was definitely one of the better decks.
You know what? I think batteries were a thing. Back then.
Yeah, batteries were a thing too.
God.
And I had no idea how that game was gonna go. I won it, but like that game I was like on the edge of my seat, like I was sweating, my hands were shaking. I was like, I'm gonna win this because I'm about to be in the top 4, and I'm gonna be in the top 4. And I don't know how I pulled it off, but the way I had my Crystal Beast built was just ridiculous. Like, all the deck builds I've seen of them, they play that tree. That stupid ass crystal tree.
Yeah.
Cannot stand it. I hate that card.
I did run it. I did like
it.
But I only used it if I had like one or two counters on it, and then I got rid of it immediately because sometimes it sucked because you had to summon exactly, or not summon, but place so many crystal beasts on the field. But before you sacrifice it, you have to have those spots available, which sucks.
I didn't like it.
I mean, it was okay, but yeah.
Like my whole thing was, I'm gonna fill up my back row with the crystal beasts. I'm gonna special summon them. I'm gonna overlay, and then I'm gonna fill up my back row again, and then I'm gonna summon Hammond. What was it?
Come on, Lord of Striking Thunder?
Yeah, Lord of Striking Thunder, and I'm gonna be like...
That's just the easiest deck to run.
Swing for 10k? Yeah, it is. It's great.
Like, if you build a Crystal Beast deck and you don't want to use Rainbow Dragon, use freaking Haman. Haman is just easy as hell to summon in there. And, oh man, speaking of top decking, it was stupid one time. I was playing against a friend of ours, and he had all these cards on the field, no hand, right? And then... when my turn started, I was like, okay, I got rid of most of the annoying cards. All he has is some cards on the board, and I drew the way to summon Black Rose Dragon, which has two effects. The most common one is the moment it gets Secret Road summoned, destroy all cards in the field. So I think what was I using? I was using my Jack Atlas deck. So I had
Jackass deck.
Yeah, pretty much. I special summoned Vice Dragon, which is a 5-star monster. Then I normal summon Dark Tinker, which is level 2 tuner. So I Synchro for Black Rose. I know it's Jack Atlas, and I used the Black Rose. Gotta use all this stuff, yeah. Anyway, so I summoned Black Rose, and then I activated the effect, and I told my opponent, I was like, let's see who can top deck better. But before that, I'm going to use Dark Tinker's effect. Whenever it hits the graveyard, I can take a sneak peek at the top card of my deck.
Oh, you shot.
And I can choose for it to stay there or go to the bottom. And another friend who was watching us, he was like, well, that's slightly unfair.
You sneaky dog.
So I Black Rose the field, and I got a sneak peek to see if my next card was going to be good or not. And Caleb, and I just totally said the name, but I don't think it matters.
Oh, man.
So I got a chance to...
Anyway.
You know, I get tired of people saying that.
In a minute?
Yes, in a minute.
In a minute, I'm about to whoop your ass.
As long as it's actually a minute, because at least it's once. Because every time somebody says a minute, I'm like, well, they just did it. I don't think they managed. Anyway.
So this episode is brought to you by the Ryan Foundation.
Right.
When I drink, you drink, just like that. Pretty much Ryan Foundation is... We take your money and we buy beer.
Yeah.
But you know, this obviously it's keyword beer, and of course donation. You know.
With the Ryan Foundation, it was established as it started as a small group of friends. Don't remember. I think it was what? It was Ryan, you. It was David. David. I mean, you guys went to high school together, so I don't know how much longer you knew each other before that.
That's it's complicated.
Anyway, as I guess I don't even know if they started drinking before that, but anyway, but I guess when the Ryan Foundation.
The point is the Ryan. I don't even remember when it was founded. We were drinking one day, and Ryan was like, "Let's do the Ryan Foundation." I don't know what that is, but okay. So essentially, what it is when you're feeling down and out, or you're just thirsty and want a beer, the Ryan Foundation is there to buy beer.
And you can donate to the Ryan Foundation by joining anytime we hang out and have $20 so we can go buy a 20.
That's right.
Or an 18-pack.
Because if you ain't drinking, and then you're probably...
You ain't thinking.
You're probably thinking straight. Let's be honest.
But if you want to have a good time, then totally...
Oh, yeah. Drink duels.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir. When I take a drink, you take a drink. This is just how I'll make up rules as we go. I don't even care.
Oh, man.
Anyways, that has been the Hero Hut podcast, the Hero Cast, episode 1, with your hosts, Jank Master.
And, it was Jank Maker.
Jank Maker, Jank Master,
Who are
whatever.
you, Jank Boy?
Jank Sensei. Yeah, I was that Jank Boy, son, number 1 in the hood, dog.
I thought you were talking about yourself when you said Jank.